Hi, you're back with me again, Michael Teo, and I've just actually shared with you the first idea of what you can do to actually start discovering your purpose and then use that purpose as a driver to lead a more purpose, a more passion-driven life. And trust me, from all the high achieving people that I've had the great opportunities to interview as part of my book, The Potential Matrix, or people that I've worked with in my corporate training, seminars, and workshops, coaching top executives and entrepreneurs around the world, one thing I did find out is all of them share one common familiarity. All of them share one common denominator, something similar. That is, they enjoy what they do and they thrive in the work which they do, which many times you find it's very much aligned with their purpose. So I've talked about the first idea, which is about listening to your life, where you could actually see how you could map what has happened in the past, all those memorable experiences, all those incidents which really stood out in your life. And I've suggested where you actually recall why were those experiences matter in the first place? Why did they stand out compared to the other experiences in your life? And also, I've also suggested for you to map out what has happened in the past in your life, where there are goals, there are initiatives that you really wanted to do, but because of some limitations or because you were too young, you didn't have the right resources or the right capital, you didn't manage to do it then. And if you were given a second chance or an opportunity to do it, you will indeed do it, because those initiatives, those efforts, those activities which you have missed are often your calling in life. They're often those activities which are related to your purpose. And I've also suggested where you find out that underlying algorithm, that underlying pattern, I would say, because all the activities that you love doing in life, whether those activities in the past which have given you such a sweet memory, or activities in the past which has given you that regret that you didn't have the chance to do it, more often than not, each and every one of them has this underlying pattern. There's a similarity pattern among them to show you what you were meant to do in life. And as long as you haven't discovered your purpose or passion in life, as Steve Jobs would put it during the Stanford University's graduation speech, Steve Jobs said, keep looking. Now, we're going to talk about the second idea, the second thought-provoking tip that I want to share with you from our research with top executive, and especially being inspired by the interviewees from our book, The Potential Matrix, on how you could discover your purpose in life. And that is to become a mentee of life. Now, one of the things that I want you to understand and I want you to appreciate is the fact that when we were born into this world, every single passing day that goes past our life all presents learning opportunity for us. There is never a day when we are not learning something. I understand. Some of you may be thinking, but Michael, I've been working on this job for like 20 to 30 years. I work 9 to 5. It's always the same routine job. What have I learned? Well, here, you may be working in a routine role. However, one of the things that avid learners do is that every day they open up their mind to start looking for new opportunities to learn something. They could appreciate whatever that is happening around the world, around them. Whenever they leave the office, whenever they go to the office, they turn on the radio, they listen to audio podcasts like what you're doing right now, they watch videos, they talk to other colleagues, they talk to their kids, they talk to their spouses. Again, your ability to become a mentee of life, mentee in a sense here, to just learn from life, comes from your ability to appreciate the fact that as long as we are breathing, as long as we are surviving and growing, we are learning. The moment when you believe you have learned everything means that you have just shut yourself off from the world. One of my mentors shared with me this advice. He asked me, Michael, what is the one constant thing around the world? Nothing will change it. It will always remain constant. And ironically, the answer is change. One thing that you can bet that will never change in the world is the process of change, is the process of evolution, is the process of growth that you will be experiencing. Another mentor of mine shared with me, those who claim that they have learned all the knowledge in the world, unfortunately, lives in a world that no longer exists. Now, having said this, how is this related to our goals of wanting to discover our purpose, to lead a more purpose-driven life? Well, here is the interesting fact that we have actually discovered upon doing research about the potential matrix and working with all these top performing people around the world. Now, the reality of life is none of us, including myself, none of us achieve success alone. Sure, some of you may argue saying that, but Michael, I dedicated more time compared to all my other colleagues. Michael, I dedicated more years. I dedicated my sweat, my tears, hopefully not blood, okay? I dedicated all these resources and efforts to become highly successful. So don't you dare tell me that I didn't gain the success by myself. Well, I can appreciate that. And I must admit, perhaps you did gain the success yourself. However, it is my personal belief that success is given to you by people. Success is given to you by others. Sure, you have worked extremely hard. Sure, you have contributed those extra hours. But if people did not trust you, if people didn't think you could do the job, do you think that they will even give you that opportunity in the first place? I mean, think about a time when you have risen up the ranks to become a CEO. Congratulations. And I understand most of that comes from your keen interest to go the extra mile, to talk to more customers. I get it, and I can appreciate that. However, can you imagine this? You became the CEO because your staffs, your immediate supervisors, your immediate leaders working under you have entrusted you with the responsibility to lead them. If you're running your own business, you may have grown your business from $1 to $10 million today, and you believe that you were the ones who were bringing in all these contracts, all these projects, all these big clients. Congratulations. However, it's the contract providers, it's the clients who have given you that trust, who have given you their budget, who have given you that money for you to implement your business solutions, for you to sell your business products to them. Now, again, if you think about that, you would know success is often not a solo effort. It's a joint effort combined by the support, the trust, and the encouragement of different people. Now, why is this important? Success in itself comes from a community of people. Now, what do I mean by this? Some people will help you willingly. These are what we call mentors. These are coaches. These are people like myself who we would appear right now talking to you, sharing our golden nuggets, sharing with you strategies on how you could further develop yourself. We are interested in your success. However, in life, to become a mentee, a lifelong learning mentee for that case, you need to train your mind to be open, to realize that there will be two types of people that will come into your life and form that community that will give you success. Number one, as I mentioned earlier a few seconds ago, these are mentors, these are teachers, these are business colleagues, these are your family members who have actually nurtured and encouraged you to succeed. However, we have a second group right now that you need to train your mind to spot. It's like going on a hunting game right here. The second opportunity or the second group of people that will give you that edge for you to learn something new, to develop your lives to be something even better and greater than who you are today, are people who have indirectly or accidentally contributed to your success. Now, how do you meet them? Well, oftentimes you don't. Most of the time, when you open your minds to be alert, this is when you begin to see what are some of the people out there who may have the knowledge, who may have the ideas, who may have the content, who may have the contacts that will be able to help you. I'll give you an example right here. You are walking through a bookstore and you saw that there was a book written by a famous author about sales, and you knew that that month you wanted to close sales. Now what happened was you could easily pick up that book. Now that book, that author may not know you, that trainer may not know you, but the very fact that you picked up that book clearly shows that his ideas or his content written in that book will indeed help you because you believe it will help you. I'll give you another example right here. Policy changes in governments, policy changes in banks, or there is a regulation shift in your industry. Oftentimes, people tend to shut themselves up by complaining about how unfair the policy is. But every time, well, most of the time, when this happens, people are complaining because they cannot adapt. People are complaining because it's going to make them feel uncomfortable to now adopt these new policy changes. And of course, if you think about it, these policy changes are set by the authority bodies. They are set by government. Now, if you open up your mindset to think, this policy change has indeed affected my business, how can I further now learn from people? How can I learn from new best practices on how I could make the best of this new opportunity? Well, even better, with these new amendments in the policies, would this give me even more opportunities to explore newer markets? Now, when you start thinking of it that way, you immediately put your mind into a learning model. You put your mind, you created your mind like a sponge, able to absorb knowledge and the differing experiences. Again, your job may not necessarily limit itself to seek out this direct or indirect mentors in your life. But you need to train your mind to be aware, to see every single challenge as a learning experience, to see crisis as an opportunity for you to grow. Now, once you start thinking in that way, that is when you achieve a paradigm shift. That's when you start to become more grateful in life and you start to appreciate all the little things that has happened. Now, why is this important? Because the more experiences, the more differing incidents, or the more different encounters you've had in your life would actually send you some signs about your purpose in life. Now, you could either go and approach a mentor, or you could actually have this mindset where you just want to learn every time something happens. And this is when you could actually guide yourself to discover your purpose in life. You will be tested with different scenarios that will give you meaning in everything that you do, that will force you to ask yourself, is this still aligned with my values? Is this still aligned with the purpose that I want to pursue in my life? Now, what are some of the ways for you to discover direct or indirect learning experience? What I would say, how do you discover direct or indirect mentors in your life? Number one, you can learn new knowledge from books, audios, videos out there, by attending seminars. That's the easiest way for you to grasp knowledge and strategies and ideas that have been researched across the decade by different people. We are saving your time. We are reducing those pitfalls that you may have if you go and experiment on those new ideas yourself. What happened is we are sharing with you what we have actually seen, what others have done really well, where we have seen great track record that you can follow. Second idea I want to share with you here is to go for networking events. Oftentimes in networking events, that is how you develop your connections and get your insights. This is where you meet people from different industries. This is when you get to network with people and you share with them that you want to be their student. Now again, as I've shared before, the more successful you become, the more inclined a human being would be to give back. Because since we were born into this world, every religion, every race, every cultural setting have always taught us to be kind, to accumulate good karma points, to offer love. Love is the foundation of our very existence. I mean, it's because of love that you're even born into this world and listening to this right now. So if you think about it, when you go to networking events, do not be afraid to be a mentor to another person. Do not be afraid to ask. Now, one of the things that I'm proud to share that has been covered in the Potential Matrix book, and I really would recommend you checking it out, that is under the self-action call, we have an entire section dedicated towards helping you develop connections and insights. All these high-achieving young people that we've interviewed in the course of 4 years around the world, who has had their accomplishment featured globally, they are global speakers, they are world-renowned entrepreneurs, top executives. All of them share the importance of building connection. And we have dedicated a chapter just for you on that, for you to dedicate your time to actually understand. We even have a to-do list to actually help you to understand how do you connect with people, how do you network with people, and how do you actually select the right networking events, the right events to go to that will allow you to showcase yourself and get mentors in your life. Now, the last idea, the third idea, or the third tip I want to share with you right here is you need to make a first great impression, letting people know why they should mentor you. Yes, that's very important. At the end of the day, you want to become a mentee in life. However, if you appear to be snobbish, if you appear to be going to talk to that person, wanting to learn from him or her, but you're going in there with a mindset that you are fixed, that your principles will not be challenged, that you are not open to new ideas, then why even start? Again, I'm going to reiterate this again. The one constant thing in the world is change. So you need to be prepared. You need to be comfortable to change as well, to learn from others. Now we have more information related to us how you could discover your purpose by understanding connections and insights from our book, The Potential Matrix, and also a step-by-step guide on how you could basically clone what others have done right, what others have done extremely well in their lives, so that you can adopt it to your life, so that you could avoid their pitfalls while you could accelerate your success by learning what they have done right. Now, this is the one thing that I always like to do. I would now like to share about one of our millennial icons, one of our interviewees they've actually interviewed to be part of our book. So I just thought I wanted to share this profile with you by Mr. Yi-Chi Zhang. Now, Yi-Chi Zhang here, he's an entrepreneur in China. And a summary is that Mr. Yi-Chi thrived against all odds with the right environment of supportive tutors and peers. The main motivation for him to go on an adventure, to launch his business, and to experiment in the things that he has always wanted to do in his heart. This feeling has always been with him. He knew and he understood his purpose. He wants to try out new things because he's interested, and also because he has had the great opportunity to reach out, connect, and be coached by tutors and his own peers around him who have actually endorsed his idea of wanting to start his business. If you want to find out what business is Yi-Chi in, well, all is contained in our Potential Matrix book. And trust me, he is a very inspiring chap. It's a very inspiring story that you need to learn. So again, I'd like to summarize it in a way where if you really want to discover your purpose in life, especially to make that purpose sustainable and it drives you every day, you need to first open up your mind. The idea here is to open up your mind to become a student, to become a lifelong mentee of life. It isn't hard to look for resources, to look for people, to look for channels who would be able to assist you to grow as a person. All you need to do is to admit the fact that as humans, we need to evolve all the time. And in this case, by being part of our Potential Matrix program, by reading our book, we hope that it would further accelerate your rate to find out your purpose at a rapid pace of time.